Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2024. For some reason, I feel like March 11th is like a notable date, but then again, I don't think it is. The Ides of March is a thing. St. Patrick's Day is a thing. I don't think March 11th is a thing, but that notwithstanding, it is Metal Monday. So if you raced over the weekend and hit a PR, let me know. Even if you didn't hit a PR, let me know. But especially if you had a PR, let me know. We'll ring the bell for you. And I've got a fun package here, one that I've been waiting for a long time from Puma. This is how it came. The guy at the P.O. Box place was like, oh, it looks like somebody opened it. I was like, it does, really. I feel like as the package delivery people, you should probably be more concerned about that. But apparently it was sent overnight. Apparently someone opened it. And now, even though I've been to the package place like 5 or 6 times since I think this probably first arrived, they just found it now. And now we're going to take a look at it today. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully you're having a good run today. Weather's really nice here in Crystal Lake. It was a weird day where it started out chilly. I wore a jacket and shorts. And then luckily I was running laps around Lippold Park. So after I made one lap, I stopped at the car and took my jacket off. And by the end of the run, I was hot and sweating, even with shorts and a t-shirt. So rapidly rising temps, and hopefully you guys are enjoying some nice warm weather. For everyone else watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running live stream to listen to. If you are trying to figure out what you're going to do with your kids all summer long. Last night, my wife and I tried to schedule all the summer camps and stuff. It's going to be an expensive summer, but I feel like the kids are going to have a very full and rich summer. And if you're trying to figure it out, it's going to take a while. So settle in, put this on in the background, open up another tab, and then you can start looking, see what's available, see what's not sold out already. You know what I mean? And good luck to you. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. We got Scuba Sun, who says he's finally able to make a live stream, and it's race week. He's got the LA Marathon coming up this weekend. I think a lot of people are going to LA this year. I wish I were going to LA this year. I did get invited to go to LA this year, but I'll be traveling the following week, and I have a lot of travel coming up in April and in May and maybe in June and August. So I couldn't do like 2 weekends in a row. It would have been a lot. It would have been a lot. So unfortunately I won't be there this year. I'm thinking next year though. Next year I think I will be able to be in LA. I don't know if I'll run, but I'm planning on being there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So good luck to everyone else that's running and getting ready for New York. LA. Sorry. I just saw something else. I read something else that said, I don't know. All right. Let's see. Someone said something about Patrick Odedina says, very random, but I just got a Puma package that looked the same. My neighbor opened it on accident because he thought it was his. See, I was thinking that maybe they accidentally gave it to the wrong person. But the address is correct on mine, you know? So it's not like, but, you know, maybe they just handed it out to the wrong box, you know? I've done that before when I had a receiving room in my building. I accidentally grabbed someone else's package and I started opening it, and then I realized it wasn't mine. And so then I wrote a note and I retaped it up and I said, I'm really sorry I accidentally opened up your package. But at least I left a note, you know? There's no explanation here. It's just open. I did take a peek in there. It's still, nothing was taken out of it. So I think it's fine. Nicholas Holland says, been forever since I've gotten to tune in. Hooray for spring break and a PR bell. I ran the PR in the 800 on Saturday. 1:58:23. Woo! That is blazing fast. Amazing. Great job. Great job, Nicholas. Spring break. It's a little, isn't it early for a spring break? Oh, but good for you. All right. Raj Kumar Shinji says, Kafuzi, superb tier video. We'll try it. Shoe query number 1. Given you have used both shoes, when you like to use Adidas Pro 3 and when you like to use Evo 1. And query 2, favorite super shoe when raining at the start. I'll start with question number 2. I don't have a favorite super shoe when it's raining at the start. I can't think of any shoes that I would be like, I normally would love this, but it's raining, so I'm not gonna. I'm not an F1 car. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think that there's a single race shoe that I can think of that I'd be like, rain means no. I have to get a completely different set of shoes. Maybe the Evo one, because it has literal slicks on the bottom, but the Adios Pro one also didn't exactly have any tread on the bottom, and it was fine. I ran into that shoe in snow. But to your first question, when do I like the Pro 3 and when do I like the Evo 1? As a normal human being, I feel like it's going to be hard to run the Evo 1 for an entire marathon. I think my feet would start to hurt towards the end. So I would like to use the Evo 1 for half marathon or shorter. In other words, like 90 minutes of racing or less. And then the Adios Pro for the marathon. That's how I would use those. Sega Dreamcast says, yo, what's going on here, everyone? Can I get that sweet PR bell? Ran the Annapolis half marathon in 1:35 for a new PR by 7 minutes. And I ran 23 minutes faster than I did in the 2023 race. So shout out to Kapuzi Run Club for the support. That's amazing. Wow. 23 minutes faster. I heard it's a hilly race. That's what Thomas said on Believe in the Run, you know? So Andrew Cho also ran the half in Annapolis. Can I get a shout out? PR in the Annapolis half this past weekend. 1:27:23. Nice work, guys. Did you guys run together? You guys should have run together. All right. And let's see what else we got here. Matt Byer says, it's a rest day for me after getting a little knee tightness post-run yesterday. Should be good to go for an easy run tomorrow. Okay. Well, good. Take it easy on that. And someone said they did a 20-miler. Rich Dyson says, first 20-miler of my London build is done and dusted. Shout out to Coach Matt Chittum from Relish. Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Those long runs, they're getting longer, aren't they? I had a long run as well. Until then, I'd had 18-mile runs, and then my last long run was 22 miles, and that was a long day. Oh, boy. But yeah, I mean, 20, 22, for me, it's all pretty much the same. All right. Do we have any more? Let's see. Zach Epley says, Boston approaching. Any tips for best places to cheer / see your friends running? Realistically, how many places should you see the same runner? It's real. I mean, I've never spectated Boston. I will be spectating Boston this year, and I'm not sure how I'm going to approach it. It's going to depend on a couple of things for me. I'll explain that later. But like, I remember, I think I talked to Ben Johnson about it specifically because his wife came to watch it and she got a car, and they said that she saw him 3 times, I want to say. Yeah. Beginning, middle, and end. Right. If you don't have a car, I think it's going to be hard, or unless you have like a e-bike or something like that can help you get through the course much faster. The difficulty that I think I'm going to have is like, you either have to follow the same one person, and maybe you could see the same one person 3 times, which it sounds like it's what's your situation, or you just stay in one spot and you see everyone. You know what I mean? And so that's what's, I think, because that course is not amenable to like seeing multiple parts of the course on foot, because it's basically a straight line. So that's what makes that one hard. The other thing that makes it difficult too is I may or may not be going with a brand there. And so if I want to get close to the finish line, I might be able to get some like grandstand access. And usually if you want to do that, you got to get there even earlier than you would if you were just like trying to time it to see your friends. And so that also affects like the math of how I'm going to try and find people or how I'm going to watch the race. I don't know. I might just camp out underneath the Sitco sign, you know, or near that the underpass that says Boston Strong on it. Maybe I'll stay right there. Part of me is like, maybe I should go up to Heartbreak Hill. I think that'd be kind of fun. And then I think from there, like there's a point where you could take the train, right? And then, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess I should figure that out too. But I think you pretty much have to decide one person multiple times or everyone by staying in the same one place, you know? Adam was watching the NCAA indoors all weekend. Parker and Nico were on fire. Yeah, Nico Young. Man, what a good athlete. How much longer do you think he stays at NAU? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like he's got to be looking at Hobbs Kessler and being like, that guy and me are like the same age. He's a pro, setting world records. Not that he's underperforming by any means, but I'm just like, he could be making some money. Not that money's the only consideration, but, you know. But, yeah, I didn't see any of the races. I was following along on the, on Threads. Louis says, I'm working on maybe going and cheering some people at LA Marathon. Fingers crossed. I mean, that's progress. Last week, Luis, you were like, I'm not going. Now you're like, I'm trying. So, okay. I think you'll have a good time if you go, All right. And Azim Jamali says, is Ramadan going to stick to light running for a while? Well, that makes a lot of sense. And that always struck me as being such a difficult thing. But I think, is today the first day? I think I started today. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know some people do train through it. You just got to be a lot different about it. It takes a lot of being very careful and thoughtful about it, But I don't have a lot of experience in that. Defrazak 7103 says, any tips on running early in the morning? Should I eat something before? Yeah, usually I would recommend eating something before. I'm very guilty of waking up and having a cup and a half of coffee and then heading out the door. These days, because I have to drive to everywhere I want to run. So in that situation, if it's an early morning, like first thing in the morning run, I'll usually just bring some cookies or a granola bar and eat them in the car on the way. You don't have to eat a ton, but it's better to have a little bit of something in the system. I think we're all past fasted runs at this point, aren't we? Are people still doing that? I never did them intentionally. I was always just like, I don't got time. But now I'm like, just shove a couple of cookies in there kind of thing. Sean Devlin wants to know if I saw the Boston Metal drama. Is there drama about it? They don't look as nice, but they're like sustainable, right? They're made out of like recycled steel or something like that. They look kind of homemade. That's why I wasn't sure if that was for real or not. I'm like, is this real? I'm not sure if this is a real story. I don't know. Mark Peterson says the metal this year is hideous. And Martha says Shannon's IG reel about the BA metal gate was right on point. I'll have to check that out. Sega Dreamcast does a bagel, coffee, and scratch water before a morning run. Get into a routine of familiar food that won't mess up your tummy. I think that's really good advice. These days, my schedule is I get up early and I work, get the kids ready for school, and then I go run. Or sometimes I have to do more work and then go for the run, which was like the case today. And so in that time, I usually end up eating stuff because I'll be up for a good 4 or 5 hours before I go for my run, So, yeah. But like back when I did have to run really early, I would run out of time. And so I would just like, oh, I got to go now or never. And then slam the rest of my coffee and then put clothes on and head out the door and start running, Sean Devlin says the people complaining about the Boston Metal should just be focusing on finishing the race. Then they can complain all they want. All right. And Martha says, I dislike Bank of America labeling their Chicago and Boston medals, but the drama is totally off the wall. Why are you training to BQ or running Boston? For the medal only? I think everyone just wants it to be really special. And I think everyone has in their mind, just like it's like the jacket every year too. since they're no longer embroidered, you know, people are all up in arms. You're going to make people mad every year, you know? And so I don't know. Part of me is like, is the BAA secretly run by Lazarus Lake, a grumpy dude who actually doesn't seem to like running all that much and is a chain smoker and is just likes to torment runners? Because that would actually make a little bit more sense. You know, it's like, oh, you want the blue and yellow embroidered jacket that all the people you've been admiring have? Guess what? They're going to be screen printed from now on. You know, oh, you want that fancy medal? And then have like a whole collection of them so they take up your entire arm when you show them off in your Instagram photos. Guess what? I'm going to make this one this year a different size and slightly different color tones. You know, like I just it kind of feels, it makes more sense as if you think of it as someone is trolling Boston people, you know. Shannon says, threatening to never run Boston again over the medal is comical. Well, I mean, that's also another way of solving a lot of problems. If you get the noisiest and most difficult to satisfy customers, if you kick them out, is that enough to make it so there isn't a 7-minute cutoff or an adjustment in cutoff times or BQ times? You know, it could be a win-win. It really could be a win-win. You get rid of the most annoying participants and a higher percentage of people who BQ get to race. I don't really see a problem here. All right. We got a lot of people coming in with what they like to do for their morning runs, and then we'll get to the box. Let's see who, and I get, well, maybe we won't, since it is, we were talking about Ramadan. And Adam says, Sifan Hassan has trained through it. I coached someone through it last year. I didn't know she was observing when she hired me, and it's not easy. She ran before sunrise and evening runs just before sunset carrying food. So yeah, see, I feel like that's how you would, like, yeah, that's how you'd have to do it. You'd have to do it where you run at odd times so that you can still fuel your runs rather than running like super, super easy because you're not eating during the day, you know? But if you can't move your runs to those odd times, then you would have to, you know, so it's gotta be tough. But I mean, people do it, but I also feel like saying like, well, Sifan Hassan did it, so it's manageable. might be kind of hard. There's not a lot that I feel like is generally applicable from what Sifan Hassan can do. Burr says, I'm doing my first half marathon in a month. My longest run thus far is 19K. I'm assuming I'm good. No pace goals, just finishing. I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be just fine. I wouldn't worry about it. All right. Should we get to the box now? Let's get to the box. All right. Here's the box. It came clearly, someone opened it with a knife, you know, and opened it up like with the tape and everything. I'm not sure why that would have happened. But inside, we've got a box of shoes. Interesting. Today, we're taking a look at the Velocity Nitro 3. There we go. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I reached out to Puma, I think right after the trials, because Drew wore his around all weekend long, and I was like, yeah, those look nice. I gotta get me a pair of those. Plus, I also went to like the Puma shakeout run at Track Shack where they were like test driving these, and I was like, oh, those look nice. I really want a pair. So I reached out and had them send me a pair. So it looks like we've still got the same combo of foams. There's a nitro foam up top and then a denser EVA layer on the bottom. They've got an updated outsole pattern, and it seems like there's still a lot of rubber here, but maybe less than last year's. You know, should we weigh it? Where's last year's? It's right here. Got last year's and this year's. Seems like there's a lot more nitro and a lot less EVA. A little less EVA, a lot less EVA. And I just really prefer this outsole pattern too. this pattern, whenever I see a pattern that looks like this, I just think it looks like either a Brooks in a bad way or an old Asics or a Mizuno like Wave Rider, you know, and it just feels dated. This feels much more modern. All right, let's get the scale out. The guy behind the guy says, we're definitely not getting the Deviate Nitro Elite 3 in the next few weeks, right? I'm about to pull the trigger on the Metaspeed Sky Paris. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard about a release date. I don't have a pair yet, and they haven't sent me a pair. All right, we're zeroed out. Let's measure Deviate Velocity Nitro 2. Man, the Puma names are hard for me to keep straight in my mind. This one has over 100 miles in it. Yeah, and it's got like mud and stains and stuff on it, but it's coming in at 9.4 ounces. Was it that heavy? I think this one gained a bit of weight over the miles. This one, the new one, Velocity Nitro 3, 10.2 ounces. It's heavier. 10 ounces. Wait. Sorry. I don't think that's going to be that much weight, but 9.5 ounces. Much better. Still heavier than last year's. Right? 9.4 for this one that's like not caked in dirt, but has dirt on it. Now it's coming in 9.5 ounces. 270 grams. Okay. A lot of padding back here. If they wanted to cut some weight, cut some of this stuff, you know, a lot of overlays, but Drew seemed to really like his. And I like the new look. I like that the Workhorse Daily Trainers are also updating and not just staying kind of like the same. I haven't tried the new 880, but I heard the 880's changing, the Velocity's changing, the Cumulus is changing. You know, even the old stuff is getting updated. So that's good. All right. Josh L says, with today's technology, I don't see why shoes are getting heavier. Yeah, they're kind of going back and forth, but I do think they're a lot lighter than they were like 10 years ago, you know? And Adam says, don't worry about weight. It's a trainer, not a racer. I'm usually not that worried until we get over 10 ounces. And then I'm like, there better be a good reason. Kind of like what Josh L was saying. Like, there better be a reason why it's 10 ounces, you know? I don't know. New Betra says, I'm an irrationally big fan of the way they wrote velocity on the tongue of the V3, using a 3 instead of the E. Yeah, I think it looks great. Velocity, V3. It's pretty nice, I will say. It looks great. The design language, it's still very much a velocity, but like it feels updated, feels more exciting. Oh, it smells like a tennis ball. You know that smell? Like when you open up a canister of tennis balls, which I still am not sure why you open up a can of tennis balls like a can of soup, but you do that and it pops and you get that smell. It's kind of like that in here. But it's very, very breathable upper. Not as breathable as, what did we breathe in the other day? Wave Rebellion Flash 2. That was very breathable, but that reeked of plastic. This is a little bit less breathable, but nice. Because I feel like it's a dual layer. There's like a stretchy layer up top, and then there's like a sock-like layer underneath. That's probably what's keeping it from being super breathable. But a lot of power tape in here. Insole is removable. If you're into that. But there you go. Caesar Ozdrubal says, talk about Invincible 4. I have no idea. Is it out now? I don't know. I don't have it. I haven't seen it before. Jenfra says, I have a 50K coming up in May, looking for a new trail shoe. Not too technical stuff, more fire road type of trail. Any recommendations? I really like the Craft Pure Trail. It's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like a Rebel 3 with really nice lugs on it. So that's kind of fun because it has like a super critical foam that's very squishy. Not like this year's fuel cell, but last year's fuel cell. So that one's really nice. At 50K, mostly fire roads. I also think that, like, the Speed Goat's going to be a great choice. Might be a little bit heavy on the heavy side for that, but that'll be pretty fun. You could probably, I probably also would just like a Trabuco Max as well, just because I like the FF Blast Plus. But that'd be a fun one. I tried the Fuji Light 2. That was the last Fuji Light series that I tried, so I don't really know too many about those. But the updated ones look interesting. I think they have a plate in them. What else is there? I'm not the best person to ask for trail shoe recommendations right now. I'm sorry. Eric Perlman says, welcome to Tennis Talk, folks. First topic, balls. I mean, why are they pressurized in the canister? Like, why does that make a big difference? Is it the you have to keep the bounce of the balls in it? I don't know. I've never understood that. Video says, love that smell of tennis balls. They are pressurized. Tennis players are super picky about bounce ability and felt. You think runners are bad? Tennis is a timing sport and anything can throw you off. Interesting. I mean, and at the same time, they play on clay, grass, so many different surfaces you can play on too. I've never played tennis on grass. I don't think I've ever even seen anyone play tennis on grass. But I feel like if I ever did, I'd be like, what kind of bizarro billionaire mansion island am I on that people are playing tennis in grass? You know what I mean? I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd be very weird to me, I gotta tell you. Greg is here and he says, I pop into the live stream and Co is sniffing a shoe. Epic. Well, it's information people want to know. I do think that a lot of the difference in weight here is that, looking at this shoe again, is that there is a lot more foam in the back. It's wider. It is also curling up, kind of reminiscent of design language from the Fast R2. It's got a little shark fin. And then there's just a lot more padding and I think a little bit more structure in the heel cup. So it's all the weight, I think, is just back here. It's only a 1/10 of an ounce heavier than last year's or so, but I feel like it could have been a much lighter shoe. And yet, someone was calling this the Dakota Lindworm Special. And yet, at 9.5 ounces, Dakota Lindworm is doing easy runs at 650 in these. Can you believe it? It's wild. Azim Jamali says, I just got the Magnify 2 this week. I'm really loving it so far. I think this year I'm going to try the Magnify and not the Forever Run. So I'm going to have to see if Puma can send me one of those too. Robert Grieger says, Wimbledon uses a 100% perennial ryegrass. That reminds me, I gotta feed my grass. You have to do it twice a year, right? Is now the time? Does anyone know? It's on someone who's owned a home before. Know that? Am I supposed to spread some seeds now or what? I don't know. Sleeve Singer says Wimbledon is on grass. Yeah, I feel like I'd be in I feel like if I went to Wimbledon, I'd be like, I do not belong here. I've got a scruffy face and I'm wearing running shoes. I do not belong in this spot, Calvin says, imagine runners smashing their shoes into pieces like tennis players do with their rackets. What's the runner version of that? There's got to be a runner version of that, right? What is it, like throwing the baton on the ground or something if you're not having a good day in the relays, like I don't know, like or like if you're on the track and you're having a bad day, like there's got to be like an equivalent. Hey, there's something going on this shoe here that looks funny. Oh, there's like something. Is this glue? Or is this, I can't tell if there's glue on here or if the upholstery is falling off. Weird. But there's like a pointy part right here on this shoe. I don't know. I'll have to take a closer look at it later. I'm getting distracted. Do you guys, throw a gel? Oh, okay. Oh, throw a gel. Or maybe it's you take the gel and you just throw the packet on the ground instead of like at least pretending to aim for a garbage can. It's when you just eat the gel and then just whap. I think that maybe that's it. Paul Public says the elites get to throw their bottles. I think a lot of times when the elites throw their bottles, they're trying to throw it out of the way so no one trips on it, And sometimes I've seen them, like if there's kids around, they'll throw it at the kids so the kids can pick them up, And Martha says, Believe in the Run already have a shoe tossing tradition. They do. And Jamie used to throw them when he got mad. If he didn't like the shoe, he would throw it. Remember when he threw one? What shoe did he throw off a bridge into like a little very sad creek in Austin? Do you remember that? I think it was either a Skechers or an Asics, I want to say. One of those two. I don't know. Videos. Oh, the runner version of a racket throw, a DNF with no injury. Oh, there you go. That's that's it. Just walk off. Walk off, no interviews, no press conference. There you go. And Matthew Tybalt says he thinks that the Nitro Elite 3 is going to be in July. No, the Deviate Nitro 3, not the Nitro Elite. The Deviate Nitro 3 is July. I don't know. I have no idea. I only write down embargoes because otherwise I'll forget. So now, like to help me with the embargoes, I have an embargoes list. It's a note on my laptop. And then I don't have a shoe release list. I always forget. That's why a lot of times in videos, I'll just say this shoe is coming out soon. It's because I don't have no idea. I actually have no idea if I say the shoe is coming out soon. I usually have some idea, but I might maybe don't know or forgot. If I have no idea when a shoe is coming out, I usually won't review it yet. I'll wait till I have some sort of idea. I don't like to review shoes too far ahead of time. Daniel Burton says, are you racing in the Edge in your next 5K? Maybe. I might try to do some 5Ks over the summer. I also know in this area, suburban Chicago has a pretty rich history of excellence in track and field in the high school and like D2 collegiate level. So there's a lot of summer track meets, like all comers meets. They're kind of like family fun events. I think they're fundraisers for the different programs and stuff. So I might not do, they usually don't have a 5K, but I might do like a mile. I might do some shorter racing this summer. I don't know how much trail running I'll do this summer. I like to do a lot of trail running in the summer because it's too hot to do like fast long runs and threshold repeats. But like training for a short fast race, maybe that's what I'm thinking about doing for the summer. And then wrapping that into Berlin training, But I might do a 5K in the Edge. I think that if I were to line up for a 5K, it would come down to Edge, Fast R2, or Evo 1. Those would be my top three. Because I've raced in the Takumi Sen before, Not that it's a bad choice. I love that shoe, but I'd like to try something different. Mixtape Tony said, I would say throwing a watch or sunglasses as you cross a line is appropriate. Same thing as like a tennis racket toss, you think? I don't know. Maybe. Steve McKellar said the runner equivalent of like smashing a racket is looking at your gun time and yelling, "You can't be serious." I like that one a lot. That's funny. I think you got to be a little bit older to get that joke. Adam says, "Are you going to be in town and watch the Masters indoors the weekend after this?" No, I'm not going to be in town. It's in Chicago this year, isn't it? Yeah. No, I'm not going to be in town. That's the problem. Daniel Burton says he's going to run the Carlsbad 5000. Why do they call it the Carlsbad 5000? Why isn't it the Carlsbad 5K? Because it's not a 5,000. Anyway, it's Carlsbad in the Edge Paris. So I feel like that's a good choice. I just feel like it is. It's such a light shoe. I think it's great for 5K pace. I don't know. Calvin says, no racket toss can make up for the feeling of getting out-kicked by a 12-year-old in basketball shorts. That's true. But what if, maybe. I think so. I think probably, though. Because can you imagine if you're playing tennis and some kid is just serving it so hard that you can't even react to it? Which is why I think where I would be. If you gave me a kid that played like tennis on a high school team and I was trying to receive a serve, it's like when people play baseball and you have to start swinging before you even see the pitch. Like that's what I would have to do, you know. And I don't think I'd be able to return it, you know. Mark says, super long time out question. Will the group run shakeout be on Saturday or Friday, Co? The group shakeout will be Saturday. That's how we've been doing it. I haven't talked to ASICS about it, but as I'm assuming they're going to want to do pizza party round 3. If we could do pizza party round 3, that'll be Saturday. Daniel Burton says the Carlsbad 5000 is a 5,000 meters. I always thought that 5,000 meters was on, you only say that for the track because you can measure 5,000 meters. And you say 5K, that's a road race or a mixed surface race, you know? I always thought. Because it's not as accurate. I mean, I know you do get it measured for like world record purposes and stuff and like area records and things like that. But to get a race certified, but I always thought that's what happened. I don't know. New Betcher says they retroed John McEnroe's shoe last year, and Agassiz is coming back again for 24, and that's an all-time cool shoe. That sounds interesting. I like that. Did you guys see the new Federer shoe from On? I was watching a video on the new Federer court shoe, and he was being very tongue-in-cheek about it. Well, he's a part owner, as you guys know. But he was being all tongue-in-cheek about it. He's like, you can use it for all kinds of racket sports. Yes, even pickleball, you know? And he seemed to think that was very funny. But the part that I thought was very funny is like, and they're designed to look like a court shoe, but they still have these great clouds from On. We just hid them. I'm like, can you just not have them, please? I just really want an On shoe with no clouds. Like, I feel like it would be good. I feel like it could be really good. That being said, I like the Cloud Tech phase. So I'm like, I'm not as mad about the clouds continuing to exist because I like the Cloud Surfer and I like the Cloud Eclipse. But I'm like, look, listen to Roger. Roger doesn't like the clouds so much he's hiding them. Maybe just don't make them. You know? You could draw them on if you really want to, but just try it. Just try. I don't know. Joe Trotto's got a shoe question. He says, I've been running in the Ride 15 during training runs for over a year. Not the same pair. What's a comparable shoe to the Ride that I can try and run races in the Kinvaras? I'd say a new Ride, because I think we're on Ride 17 now. I would say think it wouldn't be exactly the same, but I think like the Topo Atmos is kind of similar in terms of the feel underfoot. I think maybe an Aero Glide. Oh, try the Solomon Aero Glide. I think you might like that one. That could be a real good one. That's where I would look first. Because the Topo Atmos is a max cushion shoe, but it kind of has a similar feeling to the foam. But I think I tested the Ride 15. I think that might have been the last ride that I tested. Yeah. So I would look at the Solomon Aero Glide 1. I haven't tried number 2 yet. I have it, but I haven't tried it yet. Sean says, remember how cool Agassi was with that haircut? That was amazing. That was amazing. Was there ever like a Billy Madison movie about tennis? I feel like we missed an opportunity if there wasn't. Was there? I feel like at some point there should have been like a Will Ferrell, or maybe Dodgeball was it. But like I just feel like there should have been, right? There wasn't anyone? I don't know. New Betra says that Nike and Asics are both offering specific pickleball shoes, although I'm still not sure how they are different than their tennis shoes. The Nike even says pickleball on the side. I think that's the difference. I'm not sure that there's that much of a difference. It may be designed. I mean, I don't know. I just think that they're gonna. Oh, I just pulled like a really long hair out of that shoe. That was weird. Maybe there's more stability built into it. You know, maybe a tennis shoe is designed for higher speeds, and the pickleball shoe is designed for more stability. But I feel like you could probably find a stable tennis shoe that's exactly the same as a pickleball shoe, would be my guess. You know, but I really think the bigger thing is that like people are super into pickleball right now, and they want to get pickleball stuff. They don't want to get like, oh, well, you know what also would work? A really great weightlifting shoe. Get a Metcon. That'd be great. It's a cross-training shoe. Just use that for pickleball. I feel like pickleball people are probably going to be like, no, I'm playing pickleball. Let me get a pickleball shoe. I like it. There's a new place called Pickle House, Haus, German spelling, which I really like, that opened up in the suburbs. It used to be a furniture store in there, and they've converted it because the furniture store went out of business, and they converted it into a pickleball place where I feel like it's kind of like a bowling alley, you know, snacks, booze, but pickleball courts instead of a bowling alley. I kind of really want to go. I'm not sure I've ever played pickleball before. I played padel. I played that one. But I don't know that I played pickleball before. I also really like badminton. Maybe I'm a old school kind of guy. Maybe it's an Asian thing. I grew up playing a lot of badminton and ping pong. So like I like those. You know. I feel like, did you guys ever see, there was a Charlie Barron's? He did a thing about like Midwesterners who play pickleball versus like East Coasters that are playing pickleball. It was really funny. Really funny. And I feel like if someone wanted to play pickleball with me the Charlie Barron's way, which is a lot like the way that I play wiffle ball, bat in one hand, beer in a koozie in the other. So you always have to have something in your hand, you know, but you can't put either of them down. Anyway, like that's how I would like to play, you know. I'd like to play that, but I don't want to play like just regular pickleball, I guess. Calvin says, speaking of code, do you know the meme or meta around badminton and training for it? I don't know it. And video says paddle is the best. Play off the glass like racquetball. I kind of like that. It's just like kind of like, no rules, just keep playing. It's kind of what it feels like to me. Because I didn't play it seriously. And Adam says, does anyone play racquetball anymore? Why isn't this showing up? I think there we go. There's a racquetball court at the Y that I go to. But you have to have non-black soled rubber shoes to play in there because they don't want you scuffing it up. And I think that's the thing about racquetball. It's hard to get a court, I feel like. I don't know. I remember in college, me and my roommate discovered that like there is a large number of racquetball courts available for student use. And we would play racquetball all the time. And then it would devolve into ultimate racquetball, which is you each stand on one end of it and you try to hit each other with the racquetball. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I used to play racquetball a lot. I like racquetball. Video says, how many people get stitches from playing doubles racquetball? It's too much swinging in close quarters. I agree. It feels dangerous to me. And what's even more dangerous? Squash. That one, I don't even understand how they play the rules on that one. And the ball moves so much faster, I feel like. And Mike Ziegler says, Mike, I'm shooting for a 4-hour marathon. I'm trying to decide which shoe to run in. Would you choose a Racket X2 Super Comp Pro version 4 or a Metaspeed Sky Paris? I didn't like the Rocket X2 that much. I felt like it was a little bit heavy and a little bit firm. And I suspect that a Paris runner, a Sky Paris runner, would not like the Rocket X2. Maybe an Edge Paris runner would. So I'd probably lean toward the Pro version 4 or the Sky Paris. The Super Comp Elite 4 from New Balance has a much more comfortable upper. And I feel like it's more comfortable for a longer period of time. So I'm leaning that way. But I think that both are really great choices. The Rocket X2 would not be high on my list, though. But if you try the Rocket X2 on and really like it, then you probably wouldn't like the Sky Paris, is what I'm also suspecting. All right, Calvin says, so the meme with badminton is like that this guy would do crazy gym lifts and workouts that were borderline dangerous, joking that he was practicing for badminton. So now any weird or risky exercise is memed. Oh, okay. Interesting. Tails and Mileto says, my colleagues had racquetball courts at the rec center, and it was impossible to get a court. Interesting. Andrew Cho says, I used to play racquetball in college. It was a fun sport because, you got sweaty. It was fun. There was a lot of strategy to it. You needed some athleticism, but you didn't need to run around a lot. I was in pretty bad shape towards the end of college. So, like, that was about as much physical activity as I liked. That and wiffle ball. I feel like I would have been super into pickleball in college. I mean, I was super into bags and stuff, too. Although bags was a little bit after college for me. New Betra says, I feel like protective eyewear is essential for squash and racquetball. I never wore protective eyewear, but I think now my reflexes are a little bit not what they used to be when I was 20, so I probably would put on some goggles. All right, Grant Reese has a shoe question. He says, what should be my third shoe in my rotation coat? I have the New Balance More version 4, the Mach 5, and looking for a track workout shoe most likely. My marathon pace is 6:45 FYI. That's pretty fast. Do you have a rate? What's your race shoe in that? Got More version 4, Mach 5. I feel like a Cielo X1 would be fun. We talked about the Metaspeed Sky Paris. That's also, I feel like the Sky is much more easy of a shoe for me to recommend this year. The Sky Plus was not a shoe I recommended to a lot of people, even though I personally really liked it. But the Sky Paris, I think, is much easier to recommend. The Adios Pro 3 is going to be a really fun one, too. But for a track workout shoe, I wasn't reading carefully enough. Track workouts, I'd say you could go with the Takumi Sen. You could even go with the Cielo Road if you like Hokas. But I think that on the track, I'd rather have a Saucony Sinister than a CLO Road. But that's a shoe that that's a shoe that I don't recommend to a lot of people. That's a very difficult shoe to run in. Maybe the SC Pacer. I really want to try the SC Pacer too. I just want to see what that's all about. I'm thinking about getting my daughter the SC Pacer. She wants spikes, but she's 12 and she runs an 800 and like 250 or something like that. And so, I don't want her to be in spikes for a long time. So I'm thinking about getting her either a Sinister. I kind of want her to have a little plate though. So I'm like thinking the SC Pacer. But I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. For a track workout shoe, I think a Takumi Sen is going to be a good option. Mark Peterson wants to know, Cole, were you good at beer pong? I was okay. I was never that good at it. Yeah. I actually didn't play that much beer pong in college. I just felt like it made so much mess and took so long, you know. It was just too inefficient. I enjoyed it and stuff, but I don't know. Oh, Grant says he does have a race shoe. Sorry I didn't include it. I raced in the Alpha Fly most recent, and I didn't love it. Okay. All right. Yeah, but for a track workout shoe, I think some of the ones that I mentioned are still going to be some really good options for you. I'm assuming you mean like you're like ripping 800s, 400s, 200s, things like that. Yeah, and you're not going to do a spike. Yeah. AJ says that Takumi Sen 10 is finally on Running Warehouse. Is it really? It's about time. That shoe technically launched in December 1. Isn't that weird? Oh boy. Calvin Hong says, the Sinister, I use it for easy runs. You do not. That shoe's so hard to run in. I only know one other person that likes the Sinister, and that's Adam. And I know Adam's a strong runner. So that makes sense to me, as I've run with Adam before. Wait, yeah, 250, 800 for Speedy. What is that? What my daughter? I have to check my phone. It's underneath. It's just under the minute marker, so it's either 250 or I don't think it's 350, because her mile is like under 7. So 250, 800 sounds right? I actually don't remember what her PR is. Yeah, I think about 250 is about right. She's not bad. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve them, but I just don't want her to run in spikes at 12. Calvin says, ASICS makes a track racer called the Metaspeed LD. It's a spike with teeth, but no actual metal spikes. I think they made that one to get around rules for tracks that don't allow spikes at all, right? Or maybe some indoor tracks or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I've seen that one. It's an interesting shoe. I just feel like it'd be really harsh to wear for like 3 minutes at a time. And New Betro says, didn't New Balance make a spikeless track for the shoe for the mile? They do. The 5280. Have you seen the new 5280? I think it was Running Shoes World posted. He's been posting a crazy amount of pictures lately of new shoes. Because he just went to Tokyo, ran Tokyo with ASICS, and then he went shoe shopping in Harajuku, and he found some really fun stuff. I've been to that shoe store. It's pretty wild. It's right by where you could get the candied grapes, by the way. But he showed the new 5280, 5260. What is it? Where however many feet are 5620. I don't know however many feet are in a mile. And it has the old outsole that looks like the RC Elite version 1. And I was like, oh, that brings back memories. It looks almost like exactly like the RC Elite version 1. I'm like, I think I want to get that one. Lawrence Haas says, the Metaspeed Edge Paris seems like it's more popular shoe in terms of sales. Sky is still readily available across all stores, but it seems the Edge is unavailable in most sizes. I think that's one interesting extrapolation, Lawrence. I think that they probably had inventory 1/10 of what the Sky is. But I don't know. I don't know the actual numbers. But I'd be very surprised if Edge Paris sales came anywhere close to Sky Paris sales. Very surprised. Calvin says, I actually do run in the Saucony Sinister. So it's flexible, so it works for my feet and lower chain more after the high stack plated rocker shoes work the hips and the glutes more. Oh, that's very impressive, Calvin. I could not do that. I feel like my ankles would hurt a lot for a while after I did that. If I tried to do like an easy run in that, no way. All right. Molly says, I'm a newish runner and I have flat, wide feet. Any shoe recommendations? Brands with good wide varieties. Ultra has wide foot-shaped toe boxes. So ALTRA. That's a brand where a lot of the shoes are going to be good options for you. I like the Escalante quite a bit on the road side and from the trail side. I think I like the Superior the most, but the Lone Peak is probably their most popular and a lot more comfortable than the Superior. I do believe they have shoes that come in a wide as well. Brooks makes a lot of their shoes in wide, as does New Balance. Other brands also make shoes in wide, but I'd say Brooks and New Balance are, in my opinion, market leaders in terms of making shoes in wide. Topo, T-O-P-O, also makes a lot of foot-shaped toe box shoes. So instead of it tapering to a point, it kind of looks more like a foot looks when you look at the shoes from both Topo and Ultra. So those would be some good options for you too. Sean Devlin says, JC is a dentist. Are his patients just waiting in a chair with their mouths open during the live stream? I did not know that. Oh man, that's amazing. Can you imagine if like you're having dental surgery and you're hearing my voice in the background? You know what I mean? The next time you hear me, you might have like a toothache just because your brain will associate those two things together. That'd be pretty funny. Adam says, chiming in about the Sinister, he says, I used the Sinisters on my 23 times 30 seconds hard easy on the track yesterday. Oh boy. 23 times 30 seconds. That's quite a fartlek. Oh boy. All right. I think that's going to be a good place today to end it for today. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll have a bonus episode up, an interview up. I'm working on it. But if not, I'll see you guys again for Trivia Tuesday. We'll have to think of something to talk about for Trivia Tuesday. It was NCAA indoors over the weekend. Maybe we'll have to do some trivia about that. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a game we can play together. And I do have a bunch of, I feel like the UPS store guys found all the packages that I've been waiting for. So I've got a huge backlog of packages. So we'll play a game and we'll do an unboxing tomorrow as well. So it should be fun. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.